Art a little different this week on the video side. This dud forgot to bring the SD card, so when I set things up, when Doc was on the road in the College World Series in Omaha, I had no SD card to record, so it's just going to be logo today, a little less video. But I just want to give a shout out of why Dud forgot. Well, he did take a tumble, had some storms roll through Dallas. There's a little recovery there. So next week though, if I don't come prepared, I'm firing myself. All right, let's get to the episode. Welcome everyone to another episode of Stud and Dud presented by the Dallas School of Music. Thank you for listening. I'm Josh Smith, with me each week. Although he's not with me this week, and you can't see it because my idiotic self, my dud moment, forgot the camera, so all you're going to see is the logo. But he's not with me. Where are you, Doc?
Hey, Josh. I'm doing great, man. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, my friend, getting ready to take in Fulton's baseball tournament and a little college baseball World Series action.
Oh, I am Hey, and how is the weather?
It's perfect. Beautiful. It's a little on the, it's a little on the chilly side, according to Dallas standards, but that's great for baseball.
Exactly. All right, let's get to what's on tap today. We're going to get to it in a minute. We'll keep it short, because mine is short and it's simple, which I love. If we won that $1 million that we were talking about last week, what would we do with it? Also, Around the Horn in Sports Finals, Part 3. The Stanley Cup Finals go 7 games. We get to talk about that a little bit. The NBA Finals wrapped up last night, if you get that little hint. The French Open Finals, pretty much might as well call it the Nadal Open. Tiger Woods back in action this week, and everyone is at the U.S. Open. The Women's World Cup is in full swing. And speaking of full swing, Doc, you're going to catch us up at the College World Series because you're going to be seeing some baseball games, it seems like there, right?
Oh, my gosh. Hey, we're going to go see your boys tomorrow night. Got tickets to go see Arkansas versus Florida State. That's going to be a great game.
Great game. I mean, like we talked about it last week, was Florida State going to pull it through for old Coach Martin? He keeps pulling through, and he beat LSU, and we'll get into that in a minute, but you get to catch us up there. And in the coveted stud or dud moment, our segment, we will have a kind of like a stud and a dud moment going on at the same time. Definitely a funny moment. I didn't know if you caught the end of a certain game the other night, but we had a little funny moment. But first, Doc, how is the College World Series?
Well, everything's ramping up, man. This town, Omaha, is hopping because of the World Series. A lot of people here. Of course, there's baseball tournaments going on here. In addition to that, so everything's heating up. All the vendors are coming into town. I'm going to be spending a little time with the Zinger Bat Company. I'll take some pictures of that and send them your way for our social media.
Oh, yeah.
Looking forward to meeting with those guys and talking baseball bats.
Hopefully Fulton gets a foul ball. Fulton, foul ball, it kind of sounds like it kind of goes together. That'd be cool if he got a foul ball. That'd be a good pitcher, too, him with his foul ball.
Oh, man, I hope so.
So, out of all the games there, which one I know there's a few this weekend. Which one are you most excited, honestly, to go see? I know we talked about Arkansas, Florida State, but which one how many are you going to get to see, too?
Well, we're going to try to get in a couple, man. We're trying to get tickets here to Tech, Michigan. Love to see some boys from Texas play. I would love to see Vanderbilt and Louisville, too. So we're hoping to get in 3 or 4 games here before we take off.
And you're there today through when?
We are here today through Monday.
Wow. Well, soak it up, brother. Soak all that beautiful baseball and the weather. Man, I'm sorry. Hey, how many hot dogs do you think you're going to eat? How many have you already had? Have you had one yet?
Well, yeah, I already whooped one down here for lunch, man, with loaded up with some jalapenos on there.
Oh.
So I may need a few days rest when I get back home.
I bet. And speaking of rest, I might need some, and I've literally had to recoup all week long because, boy, that storm came through. And you lost power, too, on Sunday, did you not?
We did, but we weren't here. We were down in Austin.
That's right. So by the time you were back, you had power?
Yes, we got back, and we were out power. We were without power for about 45 minutes.
Wow. So let's get to my story for everyone and what happened. Oh, Josh, and of course, like I said, I'll catch you up on the YouTube side. Don't worry, you'll see definitely a little clip of, and I'll put it on social media of what happened. I'm gonna make a little video, and definitely a video for Jeep because I'll explain this story. So definitely promotional video for Jeep. So it's about 1:40. Arkansas and Ole Miss were about to have their first pitch at 2 o'clock. So, of course, I'm in the office getting stuff, kind of winding down, literally winding down, about to go out to Avery, who was napping, because it was cloudy that all day Sunday, because I saw that kind of storm coming, so it clouded up, and got notifications on my phone, and literally looked at it multiple times, going, it may go to the right. Anyway, just didn't worry about it too much, because it was only red. It wasn't like it was going to be, point being, I didn't think we were going to get tropical storm damage that literally 350,000+ people ended up without power with. I didn't think that kind of storm was coming through. So as soon as I'm winding down, I see the power flicker, and I'm like, oh no, that usually means the power is about to go off. And sure enough, within about 10 seconds of that, it went off. And it's funny how, because I was out, like I said, in the other room, and it's funny how you notice when the power's off or goes off, even when you're sleeping, because Avery immediately woke up and was like, Josh, what's going on? And immediately, did you see the tent? And then immediately I look out there, and we just got a canopy to put over our Jeeps. I just got a new Jeep. She just, had one just got one not too long ago. So obviously we talk about our Jeeps. We love our Jeeps. So we don't have a garage, so we're going to put this beautiful, this nice little canopy over it. So anchored down into the ground, I'm not thinking of freaking, like I said, a storm with 50-mile-per-hour winds really is ever really going to show its face in Dallas. So, yeah, sure enough, I see that the canopy kind of start going up and down. I'm like, oh, no. So we go out there thinking we're going to be Hulks and stand on either side and hold it down with poles. Well, no, eventually it's kind of okay. I'm yelling at Avery because by this time it literally is like a tropical storm, almost F1 tornado, because certain areas, when you saw those downdrafts, because there's trees all over Dallas, if you didn't see the news, if you don't live here in Dallas and listen to us, you live somewhere else, look it up. I mean, like I said, 350,000 people were without power up until, and point being, I lost power then, didn't get power back until Tuesday at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so we were without power for 50 hours ourselves, and I'll get back to that. Anyway, so we're out there. I said, Avery, let's let it go over. Let's let it just go over. So we let it fly over but luckily the reason I say that and not just let it go down, because it's not going to go down the street, because luckily we have this massive tree in our front yard that it's just going to roll right into, and it does. So my plan kind of worked at first. And it's kind of kept bouncing back into the tree because the wind's blowing that way. So I'm like, okay, the wind's, that's where the storm's coming from. It was coming from a weird location from the northwest down to the southeast. So that's where, and just point me, it's blowing into that tree perfectly. So we go inside, we're a sopping mess. Anyway, so Avery all of a sudden, Josh, look, it's rolling back. So she darts out there because now all of a sudden we're getting those, winds are swirling, the thing's rolling back toward our Jeeps, and so now she runs out there, and our house, when you walk up to our house, it's not just a normal walk right up and you walk in the door. We have these steps that walk up, and it has this little, probably 5 by 5 foot, well, probably it's more like 10 by 10 foot little concrete patio that you walk up on, and that's where you enter our door. Well, that patio, when wet, is about like a piece of ice. It's wet as can be and slick as can be. And so she went darting out. I didn't see her, and I wish now thinking back, I'm glad I didn't see her, because you don't want to see your wife fall and eat it and get all dirty. So I'm glad but then everyone's like, man, you probably wish you would have saw that, because then you would have maybe thought in your head, okay, I just saw that. I'm not about, so point being, she does that, no joke. I go out there, we pull it back, back to the tree. Well, I tell her to go inside. I pull it back to the tree. Go back inside, because I'm not just going to stand out there, which I probably should have, and just held it up against the tree until it was over. Well, no, I go back inside, and within 2 to 3, no time at all, doing the same thing again, so I go running out there. Oh, do I do the same exact thing she does and bite it super hard, and boy, I've got a literally about the length of my arm, I've got a massive, it looks almost like a tattoo, but it looks like it's almost looks like road rash, like you're riding you ride your bike or whatever, and you've fallen off. And then on my knee, I don't even know how it happens, and I was even thinking about it today. I am so glad I don't even know what cut it, but something cut my leg right below my knee, wide open. Had to go to the ER. But point being, here's what's funny. Cut my leg wide open. I look down. I fall and bust my butt. I look down and go, oh my God, that's wide open. Oh, and I'm not good with this stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I'm going to need stitches. But then here I am out there still wiping down because Avery's then yelling at me, go to the ER, go to the ER. I'm out there wiping our Jeeps down, trying to see if there's any scratch, any dents, any damage that's been caused by this damn canopy and just causing drama to our life. So eventually, 10, 20 minutes later, that's what I even tell Doc, and everyone's like, thank God I didn't have to, because I would have hated to have to go back inside. If it's happened somewhere else and have to go wash it out yourself, if it was dirty. Thank God it was a monsoon out there, so I literally, as soon as I go inside, it's, the storm cleaned it out. Like, it was raining so hard, my wounds were so clean. Anyway, about 20 minutes later, we finally let the storm die down till obviously till we're even going to leave, and then we see all the damage, and I don't feel as bad, especially after seeing the damage happening. That's another thing. It's a Sunday. You can't just head to your local doctor and get stitched up. Now you've got to go to the ER or local, one of those 24-hour type clinics. Oh, Doc, it was a lot, and I'm not good with that stuff, so now I'm getting the shots all around you, then I'm getting stitched up, and it was a very long day, and to top it all off, then we get back home, and our Great Dane's hopping around. We have a glass table. He jumps up with his hind leg, cracks the glass right in half. There goes the top half of our glass table. We had to throw the glass table out. So it was
my God.
Yeah, so it was a long first, it's about 6 to 8 hours, and then obviously 12, I guess, because we had no power that night. Well, the next day we go to, okay, hey, we're not going to be powered. Doesn't look like we're going to get power tonight because it's already about mid-afternoon, and we kind of go out and about to get some food and kind of get out of the house. Hope when we get back we have no power. Well, that wasn't the case. We're like, okay, let's go get some stuff. Well, by then, of course, it's been 24 hours, so now you go to Walmart, all that stuff's gone. All your camping type stuff, because you're pretty much camping out at home. Well, that's all gone. So now we're like, what are we going to do? Well, we go, we're searching around. So we eventually end up at Big Lots, and this girl, for whatever reason, which talking to other people, I guess, because one side, and I've seen that before, where one side has power, one side of the street has power and the other side doesn't. I guess that was what she was doing or something along those lines, because this lady was getting a bunch of extension cords. And I'm like, what are you getting extension? I'm like, okay, let her figure out what she's doing with that. If you have no power, why are you getting extension cords? I'm thinking that. But then I heard later on, I guess, because it would be some people would have power close to you, so maybe you would run a line from their house if they'd let you. Anywho, so I go, oh my God, Avery, we have outlets in our Jeep. Literally, you have an outlet and I have an outlet. Let's run an extension cord, which we had two. I have a 50-foot and 100-foot, those extension cords, those massive long ones. Then we ran those inside, had a multi-outlet connected to both of them. So next thing you know, we've got Wi-Fi, a lamp going. Literally got everything going that we wanted, which we were loving life. Literally had fans that night. So Monday night was great. So we figured it out. Monday night was great. Tuesday, I'm like, okay, I want to get some TVs going. I'm going to start figuring out what I can get plugged up. We're going to have to go another night, which it was literally 2 o'clock again, and I'm at home. So I'm like, what am I going to do? So it's about 4 o'clock now, dog, and I'm getting TVs plugged. I'll get it plugged up, and then it shut down. I'm trying to figure out what all I can get going. So I'm like, okay, Avery, here's what we're going to have tonight. I can plug up the TV, get the Wi-Fi. I'm like literally telling her what all we can have hooked up, and as soon as I'm telling her all this, you hear zzz, and all of a sudden everything kicks back on, and we are both like, thank you, good Lord. Thank you, good. Hey, I know what we're watching tonight. Whatever I want, because I can turn my TV on now, baby. Heck yeah. But yeah, it was one of those 48 hours of, I would hate to say hell, but for us, it was me getting all banged up. The dogs were looking at us like, why we have no power? Like, especially that first night. Why is it 84 degrees in the house? Oh, man, it was, oh, gosh. So I'm banged up, needless to say. The stitches are slowly healing, and that's the part. It's like right below my knee, so it's where you bend your knee all the time. So it was... needless to say, I was ready for this weekend.
I tell you, Josh, I leave town and everything falls apart. I don't get it, man.
I'm telling you, and then like today, I forget the SD card of the camera. I'm telling you, it's been, you leave town, Doc, and things fall apart with me. I don't know. It's something about you that just connects us. I don't know. So speaking of which, back to a day for us, and not so much me, although I have, the pack full of dogs, so somewhat of a dad. Father's Day, what are y'all doing on Sunday, brother?
Well, we're here playing baseball, man. We'll celebrate Father's Day as a family when I get back home with all kids and with Mom. But right now, we got one thing on our mind, Doc. One thing, buddy. We got baseball on our mind.
So, pretty much hot dogs for Father's Day?
Yeah, more or less, man. Maybe a little cotton candy.
Exactly. Hey, that's good. Hey, that's a good dessert. Little hot dog, little cotton candy. Trust me, all that sun and all that baseball, you're gonna sleep good. And that's good. That's hey, that's really what you want for Father's Day. You get to see your son play baseball all day long. You're at the College World Series. Probably didn't get much better than that.
No, it doesn't, man. It's a lot of fun.
Yep. Well, hey, I'll be recouping, cooking some food and eating. Yeah, so I'll be watching a lot of baseball. So hey, like you said, send me the pictures for sure. And hey, I'll be looking for your pretty face on TV.
All right, man. That'd be great.
All right. So if you won $1 million, what would you do with it? Just real quick, what would you do with it, Doc?
Well, certainly, if I won $1 million, the very first thing I would be thinking about is doing some nice charity work with that. There's a lot of people, as you know, in our country, and we don't even have to think about the country as a whole, just in Dallas itself, a lot of folks in need, man. So I think we would first and foremost look at seeing how we can help our brothers and sisters right there in the Dallas area.
Yeah. That's the main thing?
Yeah, and then after that, man, a big party.
Hey, all right. Hey, as long as I'm invited, baby.
Yeah, you'll be invited. And then after the party, Josh, definitely set up some funds, to keep our tuition money flowing for our kids.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You definitely want to get the kids through school.
Yeah. So we got got to take care of those kiddos, man.
Got to. Hey, I'm glad. I love my parents. Pray to God every day they took care of me. So definitely, I mean, that's the kind of parent you need and want for sure. Push you and be able to support you.
That's exactly right, man. We want to make sure they finish college at the starting line and move forward and have their dreams come true.
Yep.
So.
Well, and that's the thing talking about, which is funny. That'd be one of the first things we'd actually do. Would be finally having a baby. I mean, it would be, obviously it would be super financially stable. So I know we'd probably have a baby right away, buy a house, like finally be, kind of start a family since we're kind of at that start. So that's what I know we'd do with that $1 million. It'd all just go into invest kind of right back to us. I mean, definitely probably give some to charity, which most of the charity probably go more toward the dog organizations, but pay off, and then certain little small things like pay off, like a couple, the credit cards, or hey, pay off the Jeep that I just bought, so now I don't even have a car payment anymore, stuff like that. But then, yeah, definitely be able to buy a house and have a baby. I know that would be Avery's dream for sure.
Hey man, speaking of babies, I don't know if you know this or not, but Steve Kent, our first guest on
Stud number one.
They just welcomed Jackson into their home on Monday.
Oh, was it a boy or girl?
Yeah, little boy.
Oh boy, okay, yeah. Well, I'm sure he's so, because I'm sure he told us that, but I'm sure he's so ready to play some catch here in a little bit.
Yeah, what's funny, man? Jackson came into the world on Monday, and I didn't realize it until Tuesday. But I actually texted him on Monday to get an update, and found out the next day that Jackson was born. And, man, I am cracking up laughing because I haven't heard from them since.
That's so funny. He's been probably pretty busy.
Oh, yeah, he ain't playing baseball right now. I know that, man.
Oh, yeah. All right, so speaking of which, let's get to Around the Horn and Sports Finals Part 3. We got the St. Louis Blues win their first Stanley Cup. And, my friend, that was a great series, and I'm glad it went 7 games. And I'm glad the Blues won, so now we've got our Blues winning their first ever Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I'm happy for them, but at the same time, I was thinking the whole series, man.
Should have been the Stars. Yeah.
Stars should have been there.
Hey, once again, that's why you got to push forward to next year. But I was glad to see the Blue, and we'll get to that in a moment. But did you watch Game 7?
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
Yep. Well, definitely great. I'm just glad, like I said, and getting to it, because it's the first time in probably, I didn't look it up, but probably the first time in a very long time that we've had 2 major sports franchises win their very first championship in the same year, needless to say, in the same week, because now the Raptors wrapped up the NBA Finals last night in Game 6, won at Golden State, and the first time, another stat that was for sure a record, the first time in the NBA Finals that there had been 5 straight road victories. The road team had won 5 straight games. Obviously, Raptors winning in Golden State last night.
Yeah, that was pretty remarkable. That was unbelievable. I'd like to know if that. I don't think that's ever happened, has it?
No, that was what I was saying. Yeah, it's the first time ever that 5 straight road wins. Like I said, yeah, it was the first time ever. Now that's just nuts. Yeah, Raptors won Game 1 at home, and then after that, every team on the road won. So the Warriors won. You get my point. So that's just nuts to see. I mean, very nuts to see. The road team win 5 straight. So never happened yet in the NBA Finals. Great to see the Raptors win. Everyone, I'm sure, especially Warriors fans, are going to think it's a tainted series. Klay Thompson. You got 2 people that went out with big major injuries that now are going to miss next year. Klay Thompson. Did you see him get injured in the game, Klay Thompson?
Yeah.
Yep. So he tore his ACL. Then you got Durant with the Achilles. So both those guys are out literally all of next year essentially now.
Yeah, and I have to. I'm not a big Golden State Warrior fan, but I tell you what. I did gain a lot of respect for them through this series. I think that they really played like champions, man. They were tired, but man, they kept fighting. And there was a moment where I thought we were definitely going to go to Game 7.
Yeah, oh yeah. Last night where the Warriors, yeah, I know. And I'm just thinking, like, man, imagine if whenever, like I said, every especially Warrior fan or even real. Maybe true fan, anyway, of basketball going, man, as in, what if Kevin Durant was fully healthy? What if Klay Thompson was fully healthy? I mean, DeMarcus Cousins is even banged up. But, yeah, imagine that team fully healthy, at least KD and Klay Thompson. I mean, does it even go 6 games, you think? Probably Warriors wrap it up. Maybe Warriors wrap it up in 6, especially because the Raptors were playing probably the best basketball they've played all year the last couple of weeks.
Right.
But that's my point. I mean, but I'm glad the Raptors did take advantage. It's one of those things too. If they would have went to like 7 games and made it look sloppy, people would have been like, oh, really would have thought it was. But pretty much the Raptors were in control for the most part, the whole series, and most of the games, and definitely took advantage of an injured, beat up Warrior squad.
Right.
But hey, let's get to the which we've been talking about for 3 weeks, the Nadal Open, which we should just call it now. He's won his 12th French Open. Rafael Nadal is just unstoppable, essentially, at the French Open. I mean, 12 French Opens? Are you kidding me? I mean, imagine if Tiger Woods won 12 of any major, 12 U.S. Opens, won 12 Masters, won 12 British Opens. I mean, Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, so not much to talk about there. Just great. I mean, besides the fact that greatness that he is.
Josh, that's called dominating.
Yes, I was going to say dominance for sure. And my girl, Vondrousova, she made it to the finals, but she lost to Australian Ashley Barty. So, hey, it was an 8 seed versus unranked Vondrousova. And I'm just glad to see, I kind of watched a little bit because I liked, I wanted to, like I said, it almost would have been like the Raptors and the Blues winning. Vondrousova, she's it would have been cool to see that. So, just good push. They're on both sides. So, definitely, like I said, so many great finals here in sports. And then another big major going on. Speaking of Tiger Woods, we've got the U.S. Open underway, and a great first pairing. You got Justin Rose, Tiger Woods, and Jordan Spieth all playing together in the first round, or in the first couple of rounds. So that's a hell of a stud of a lineup right there for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah, Justin Rose shot 600. Did you watch? I'm sure you've been so busy, you probably haven't even seen any of the golf, have you?
I have not seen any of it. Just been keeping up with it, on the sports radio sites.
Yep, beautiful course out there at Pebble Beach. Boy, I'd love to play that course someday. I mean, I could not believe it's so beautiful, such a beautiful course. But yeah, Justin Rose in the lead, which was crazy to see him shoot 6 under yesterday, and it was one of the most under since 1990. It was had the most pars, the most rounds under par in the U.S. Open in a very long time, and hope to see that change, and it should as the course hardens up a little bit because there was a lot of rain going through there, which is good for California, but it softens up the course. So of course, when a course is soft, it's gonna be a little easier. But man, a couple times that's what they make those U.S. Opens. It's almost a lot like the British. You get out in the rough, my friend. Me and you would be in there all day.
Yeah. For me, I'd be in there all week.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And Tiger shot 1 under that last check before I got into here. He was at 2 under, trying to get up to 3 under, so that's great. Rose was still at 6, I think he was still at 6 under. So that's what I could see. I bet the course toughens up. If anyone even gets to 10 under par this week, certainly a feat for that course. So it's great to see. Like I said, I love Pebble Beach. Great to see the U.S. Open back there. And the other guys to talk about, because they're right there behind them, they're about to tee off or may have or soon to be, and that's what I love too. If you're not playing baseball or if you're not watching baseball, that's what Dad loves. Or last night, my point being, the golf goes on, Doc, till 9 o'clock at night because they're on the West Coast, so they're playing literally.
Yeah, right.
Tiger last night literally got done right 8. I was going back and forth between the NBA Finals and watching Tiger.
So you had a good night then, didn't
you? My friend, I did. I was recovering, relaxing, going, man, loving it. So Louis who stays.
What were you eating?
Well, here. So Avery's out of town, so I had to fly her out first thing Wednesday morning. So I've been bacheloring it up again. She had to go to Memphis for a regional meeting. So last night, here's what's so funny. I didn't have much left of the house because I literally just went and got groceries earlier. I had pretty much some veggie tacos. I had some corn tortillas. I had some black beans, cut up some onion, cut up some jalapeno, put a little cheese on it. Had 2 or 3 of those, and there's my dinner.
Wow. That sounds pretty good, man.
It was pretty good. I threw some chips in there. Obviously, got to have a little tortilla, a little crunch in there. So I threw a little tortilla chip in there. So yeah, it was actually, I was like, man, what am I going to have? I don't want to get anything fattening. Don't want to leave the house. I got everything here. I had a couple of beers already still there. I'm like, man, I don't want to leave. I was like, oh, I got some black beans. I got some tortillas, some cheese, little veggies in there. I'm good to go. I'm set, Doc.
Yeah, it's a little healthy. I think I would have gone with a ribeye on the grill.
Oh well, yeah. If I would have left the house, I should have done that. I needed you. I'd have been propped up with a little ice on my wound. Had you go get a couple of steaks for us.
Right, man. That's what I would have done, big boy.
Well, hey, guess what? That's what I'm doing for Sunday for Father's Day. I'm gonna treat myself to a big old steak and baked potato.
Oh, man, classic.
Look, yes, super classic. But other names to watch for real quick. Louis Oosthuizen and Ricky Fowler, which would be good. I'd love to see Ricky Fowler win the U.S. Open. And Xander Schauffele, he's at 5. They're all at 5 under. So, I mean, and like I said, that could mean, heck, you could look back later today and I could see any of these names at even par, over par, point being they could shoot over par today, certainly so. Now, let's move.
Well,
I was going to say,
you know as well as I do, man, a lot happens between now and Sunday.
Oh, big time, especially in these majors.
Yes.
Get on to the World Cup. I know you probably haven't been watching any of the Women's World Cup, but I will be watching all of it, and that's what sucks. I'm wearing and I'll have to wear it again next week. I'm going to wear the same exact clothes next week, but I'm wearing one of my USA soccer jerseys. It's not like a jersey. It's more like a mesh collared shirt, but it's for U.S. soccer. But they setting record-breaking fashion, beat Thailand 13-0.
Yes, but that was Thailand. Let's not forget that.
And I told you that's exactly what I said on last week's show. And I wish we would have put up like, hey, what do you think the final score would be? I would have said like 7 or 8-0 or 1. You get my point. So yes, exactly.
Right.
The fact they scored 13, a lot of people or some people were talking about over. I'm like, it's like we're talking about and I was telling my friends when you're up so many in baseball, it's like you're up 10-1. We can just go up to the plate and just stop swinging the bat. I mean, yeah, that'd be cool and all, but you can't help when you're just pushing all those runs in, or you get my point, or scoring goals. It's just happening. You can't really, unless you're just going to stand there and not play anymore. Then you're not. You get my point. Otherwise, you're just going to probably keep scoring.
Right. Hey, Josh, I don't know if I've told you this. I'll share it with you on Dud and Dud. My favorite all-time sports quote. You want to know what it is?
What?
All right. You remember a guy by the name of Woody Hayes?
Oh, yeah.
See, now, David Basil would appreciate this quote.
Oh, yeah. Classic college football coach.
Okay, so Woody Hayes, right? Ohio State's beat, I don't know, I can't remember the team. They're beating some team like 62-0. And they score a touchdown in the final minutes of the game, and Woody Hayes goes for 2. So, they end up beating the team like 70-0, and of course he's going to get all kinds of slack in the locker room afterwards from the media.
Yeah.
And somebody asked him, why did you go for 2? Why did you go for 2? And Woody Hayes said, because I couldn't go for 3.
Right. Love it.
So I think, the competitor and the athlete wants to compete all the way to the end.
Got to. I mean, any of the best I've ever seen, Michael Jordan, John Elway, Tiger Woods, they're never going to give up. They're going to keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. They win by 10, they win by 20, they win by 100, so be it.
Correct.
Hey, let's get to it. The College World and real quick, the USA, the women, they play Chile on Sunday. So they play Chile on Sunday, and then watch out for France and Germany. They're both really good, both undefeated so far. Worth watching. If you get a chance, get you some soccer on. But it's Sunday morning for Father's Day. It'll be probably the first sporting event I watch, obviously, on Sunday, and probably won't be besides the U.S. Open. I guess that's what I'll be watching. That'll be awesome. Women's World Cup, it's in U.S. Open on Father's Day. But yeah, they play Chile on Sunday, so watch out for that. College World Series, let's get to it. You are going to see the Razorbacks and Florida State. And who else maybe? You're going to go Texas Tech, Michigan maybe?
Yes. Well, we're going to try to take in as many games as we can, but we are definitely, we're working around Fulton's baseball tournament, and it all depends on how they bracket out, what they win and what they lose when they're playing. So we're working around that with our tickets for the College World Series.
Let's say so you haven't bought anything yet though.
We got the Arkansas-Florida State tickets for Saturday night, and then we kind of have to play the rest by ear depending on how his tournament unfolds.
Well, I like to see that the fact that somehow fit perfectly in your schedule that you could already get the tickets. That makes me joyful.
Yeah, and man, and of course, I thought you'd be happy that we're going to go see your boys play.
Yeah, you got to get some pictures, bro. You better get up there close and say, "Hey, Stud and Dud, I'm a photographer. I'm taking some pics."
Oh yeah, I'm going to try to use my press credentials to get in.
No, exactly. We whipped those up before you got there. But hey, great. It's great to see, like I said, Florida State pull through there for Coach Martin. Hopefully they kind of fall apart there. Obviously obviously face-on boys. That's on Saturday night at 6:00. First game though, the first game of the College World Series though, like you said, maybe get to see that Texas Tech Michigan. So it'll be two good, obviously 2 good games on Saturday, the 2 games on Sunday. You got Vanderbilt, Louisville, and then Mississippi State and Auburn. So two SEC, which with all the SEC schools, I say all the SEC schools, there's 4 in there, but obviously they're going to have to play each other most likely at some point in time, but it's kind of funny that they paired up Mississippi State and Auburn in that first round. I didn't think that they'd do that. I figured they'd kind of stretch out all the SEC schools, which that would mean, I guess, if there's 4 of them, that means there would be one in each of the mini games, or one in each game. But regardless, Mississippi State versus Auburn, so that'll be kind of funny to see how that plays out as well on Sunday.
Well, who are you picking, man?
I can't. Man, I think they've got it this year. I think they're gonna pull through. Honestly, if it's not Arkansas, I think Vanderbilt, just because they are the super stud in this bracket. But I mean, I'm going logical here. I'm not gonna go with any kind of weird upset or I think those two teams are. Arkansas has been playing really well lately. Finally, the bats have been rolling. They put up 20 plus runs in those few games. The 3 games against Ole Miss, and really 2 of the games they pretty much put up 20 runs. So finally got the bats going with the pitching, which their pitching's been really stellar. So I'm going with my boys. I'm definitely going to. I've got to pull for them this year. Thinking they were literally a missed catch away last year from getting. It's definitely a lot of ball. I mean, you got this weekend you got to get through. Then you got to get through next weekend. But yeah, I'm going to go with my boys, and then like I said, if not, that's the other team for sure I'm going with is Vanderbilt to take it all.
Okay, so you're picking Arkansas and Vanderbilt to be in the final, and you're thinking Vanderbilt will win it?
I'm thinking I want, but I'm going Arkansas all the way. But that's what I'm saying. Obviously, that's why if it's going to be Arkansas, Vanderbilt, I think in the national championship. And then I'm thinking my Hogs are going to pull through this year, being that they played Vanderbilt enough, they know what to do, and they've been in the situation last year. So that's what I've got Arkansas going all the way against Vanderbilt. And obviously, my point being, if Arkansas doesn't win, it's Vanderbilt. But those are the 2 teams I got there. Who do you got?
I think here's what I think. I think Texas Tech is going to beat Michigan. I think Arkansas will beat Florida State. I think Vanderbilt will beat Louisville. I think Mississippi State will beat Auburn. And then I think that it's going to be in the finals. I think it's going to be Arkansas versus Mississippi State. And I think Arkansas will win the national championship.
Hey, I like how the only thing I don't like about that is we both picked the Bucks to win the NBA Finals, and we did not get that one. So hopefully we turn the tables and we can go 1 for 2 here to get that back up to 50%. So certainly. I like what you're thinking there. I'm right there pretty much with you probably for every game, although, like I said, I like Vanderbilt over Mississippi State, which will be, like I said, another classic SEC showdown. They played each other a few times this year. So, yeah, it'll be a great College World Series. I'm ready to watch like I said, the next 2 weekends and see what unfolds. So, I'm glad you're there to get to catch at least the first weekend of it. So, that's beautiful, man. And like I said, the weather looks great. Is it weather looking like it's going to be that way the next couple of days, too, while you're there? Beautiful?
Yes. It's a little cloudy right now, but it's quite honestly, it's really great baseball weather. It's in the 70s, a little on the breezy side, but the guys down on the field playing the game probably appreciate it being like that.
Oh, definitely.
It's great baseball weather.
Definitely. So it's like football. Kind of reminds me of football weather. That's like perfect football weather. Almost a perfect golfing weather too. That's the prime weather you want. Just right there, not hot, not warm, but just right there, almost on the cool side. But yeah, it'll be and it plays out over this weekend, next weekend, and you always forget that the championship games are on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So essentially a week from this coming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is when the games will play out for the actual champion, the College World Series Finals. So a little of about 10 days left till we get to see who takes it home. But yeah, hopefully them Razorbacks. That'd be great for the Hill. I know they'd love it up there. All right.
Yeah, and I'm kind of cheering for them. Obviously, because you love them so much. But I was heartbroken last year with that dropped foul ball. I'd love to see them come back and have a little redemption.
Yeah, and that was when it was funny. It was when I first, got in here and started seeing you, taking lessons from you. It was literally right around that same time because, it was like June 8th. I forgot, it was because I got in after the first lesson, so it was like the second lesson in. So, right, it was like June 1st to June 8th, somewhere around in there, my point being, when I first started seeing you last year. So, point being, it was only 2 weeks later, essentially, when that happened. So, yeah, I'm sure you probably, because I don't remember it. I'm sure we talked about it, but yeah, it was probably one of those things you're like, man, I feel bad for him. That sucks.
Yeah. Hey, I got you a little gift already, man. I got you a little gift. I'm bringing it back. It's the 2019 College World Series preview catalog with all the teams in it, the brackets, the players, all that kind of stuff. You're gonna love it, man.
Dude, that's sweet.
Right up on Arkansas.
I love it. I keep all those things. Like even when certain years, which is funny, I was pulling up one when Arkansas, or no, who played? I forgot. Someone played SMU, and obviously now the Arkansas Razorback coach is from anyway. So I always keep those things just because I always can look back and like, oh, remember when he was there? Oh, you know what I mean? So yeah, I love Love
Right.
getting those things. I keep them. It's funny when I get 80, I'll go back through them like, oh, I remember that, and they're gonna be like, no, you don't. I'm like, oh, I do. I really do. I'm like, you don't even remember what you had to eat last night, Grandpa. What the hell are you talking about? All right, so Stud or Dud segment. What do you got for me? You said you got a little something for me for the Stud or Dud moment.
I have something for you on Stud or Dud.
I thought you said earlier, you said you had a little something earlier. So maybe you forgot about it, but yeah, you said something. I got something for you later for Stud and Dud. I thought it was something. I forgot what we were talking about earlier, but I thought you said something you had. I'll tell you later on Stud or Dud. I forgot what we were talking about now.
Well, maybe I forgot, but you go ahead and start it off.
Yep, you're good, but hey. So I know we talked about a catch in the Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Did you see the ending, though, when they were, like, passing the trophy around, celebrating from player to player? Did you see that?
No, I did not.
Yeah, so I kept watching it because it was, like I said, Avery was already gone, so there was nothing on, and I'm watching that, kind of slowly trying to pass out. And I missed what initially happened, and they come back from break, and I hear the announcer. That's when I finally kind of caught it again. The announcer was like, "Well, we're sorry for that. We shut that camera off, so you hopefully won't be." Kind of was giggling. The point being, he was saying we shut that mic off because, and you won't be hearing any of that language again. Like, whoa, what did I miss? So of course I know I'm on live TV, so I just rewind and go back to what they were. What did I miss? And it's when the players, they're passing the big Stanley Cup around, the big silver guy. They do it. It's kind of like when at the end when they win the Super Bowl and they're all passing the Lombardi Trophy around. So they're passing it around. They do their little skate around. They pick it up. They do the skate around. They go back to the next player. Do the skate around. So when they go out to the middle of the ice, they're like, yeah. Which is funny. They're at Boston, so it's like, who are you saying yeah to? You're not at home. But I guess the few Blues fans that are there, and I guess to say yeah, F you to the Bruins fans. I don't know. But anyway, they're still doing it because I guess that's tradition. So they're doing their little circle arounds, and then I'm like, okay, so I pause. I'm like, okay, it's got to be something in here. So I'll pause, I press play. And next thing you know, it is F-bomb after F-bomb after F-bomb, like, F yeah, F and F yeah, yeah. And I mean, they were just dropping F-bombs left and right. I'm like, how are they not hearing these and not, like, muting it or cutting the mic off? But, dude, they were dropping at least 5 to 7 F-bombs for sure.
Yeah, not good, but I tell you what, when you put microphones down on the playing field with any professional athletes, you're walking a tightrope.
Oh,
you're going to hear something.
Yeah, especially after you just won the major sporting event of whatever that sport is, as in you just won the actual championship of whatever your sport you play. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that going on. So it was, I said, stud and dud moment going on there. Stud moment as in great for the Blues. Dud moment on NBC, how they did not. I mean, it was the one of them I forgot. It was hilarious, and I posted it on a couple of the different accounts. But yeah, he dropped a couple of them right there, and they were clear as day. And I'm like, wow, how are they not catching these? But it was hilarious.
Not good, man. Not good.
Let's get to the super duper stud. Oh my gosh. And I hate it's certainly a sad day in Denver Bronco world, but the Broncos, the owner, the man that started it all, the OG, Pat Bowlen, passes away. And I thought he was older. I thought he was in his 80s, but I think he was only unfortunately 72. But Alzheimer's, he developed certain, it sucks what happens when you develop certain diseases and how it eats away at your body. But man, that dude, let me just go over some of what Pat Bowlen did in his 35-year tenure as the Broncos owner. Mr. B, as they call him, which I love it. Mr. B. And that's the thing, too. When you have an owner like that, which I've worked for many owners of companies, where they're not the type that show up for 2 seconds, they're telling everyone what to do, and they're gone all day. I work for owners that they are I've worked for those owners, but I work for mostly the owners, that's what I love. They're there working right beside you, putting in every effort. You can talk to them like they're your best friend. You need to go to them with a problem. They're going to solve it or help you try to solve it. They're your partner. They're your friend. They're there, literally, they're there with you in the dark times, the good times, whatever. That's the kind of owner you want to work for, and especially in the NFL. So, let me tell you this. The team had as many Super Bowl trips, 7, as they had losing seasons. So, in his 35 years, they had 7 Super Bowl trips and only 7 losing seasons, Doc. Doc, you there?
Pretty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty. I'm taking it all in, my friend.
Since 1984, the Broncos had the most winning seasons in the NFL. Bup, did you know that? And second most playoff appearances. Since 1984, they've had the most winning seasons, 21, and the second most playoff appearances, 18. Can you believe that? How about that stat? And that's the year I was born. That's the year I was born too. So you can see why I've been such a great fan too. On top of the fact we've been hella good.
Right.
First owner, and what? Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Well, you know what? I'll let you get through your list here because I know it's pretty impressive, and then I got some comments.
Yeah, first owner in pro football history to oversee a team that won 300 games in his first 30 years at the helm. He's the only owner to reach the Super Bowl with 4 different head coaches: Dan Reeves, Mike Shanahan, John Fox, Gary Kubiak. The Broncos had 300 of their current 403 regular season and playoff sellouts during Bolin's tenure. That's a record. That is a record that still is rolling. The Broncos are a regional passion as they're almost 60%. It's .598. So 60% winning percentage Bolin has since 1984. So since 1984, their winning percentage is almost 60%. That is top 5, Doc, in all U.S.-based sports leagues. Like all the leagues, all the teams, their winning percentage at .598 since 1984 is top 5.
Right.
Here, why I talk about why you want an owner like this. When cornerback Darren Williams was murdered in a drive-by shooting in early hours of New Year's Day 2007,
yes,
Bolin covered the funeral costs and chartered a plane so the entire team could be there in Fort Worth for the funeral and the family. So, I mean, are you kidding me? Bolin served on 15 NFL committees, including the powerful broadcast committee as the Management Council Executive Committee. Dick Ebersol, the former head of NBC Sports, has called Bolin one of the league's most important owners of Bolin's support and his support of international games, the record TV deals, and also called him the father of Sunday Night Football. And done.
It's impressive.
Well, I mean, there's not. I shouldn't say and done, but he had those were just some of the big highlights.
You know, it's interesting because you've grown up a Broncos fan. I grew up a Chicago Bears fan, and until my understanding of the Denver Broncos went as far as first and foremost Floyd Little. I mean, that's who I grew up watching. Man.
Right.
And then, of course, number 7. What's his name? I can't remember.
Mr. Elway?
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, John Elway. so Floyd Little and John Elway. When you talk about Denver Broncos, I think Floyd Little and John Elway. And you know, when you put your list together, and I looked at that, you know, I said, apparently there's a whole lot I don't know about the Denver Broncos, but I don't think, I think they're maybe the most underrated, they might be the most underrated franchise of all time.
Right? I mean, when you think about it, and people give you crap, and I'm like, dude, look how many Super Bowls we've been in, some of the most ever. And then when you look at this, I mean, since 1984, we're pretty much one of the one of the most winningest programs, franchises, teams in all sports in U.S. Are you kidding me? I mean, literally the most winning season since 1984. I had no idea. Literally, I knew we were good, but no, we did not. I did not know since 1984 we had the most winning seasons in the NFL. I mean, that blew my mind.
Yeah, but here's the deal, man. With the Broncos, I think I don't think they get their just due, man. Because like in baseball, you mentioned baseball, people think of the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
Los Angeles Dodgers. They think of teams like
big markets,
like
and you say that's what kills a lot of big players. Yeah, when you're not in a big market,
but you don't think Arizona Diamondbacks. In football, you think teams like the Dallas Cowboys,
the Green Bay Packers, the Steelers.
Green Bay, exactly, right?
Yep.
The Denver Broncos seem to always be left out of that conversation.
Yep. I know, or Patriots, obviously nowadays. Patriots, certainly so. But yeah, exactly. I mean, it's certainly one of those things where you throw these stats down and you're just like, whoa, hold on, yeah. A normal fan, you're not thinking that. So, and even me, I am the biggest one of their, not biggest, but definitely a huge fan of theirs. And to know that, and I remember kind of seeing these kind of stats before just because of Pat Bolin, so they didn't, they've done articles about him. But yeah, especially since they passed, there's so many now, and this one was from former, which is funny, Broncos reporter Adam Scheffler, who's now huge on ESPN, but this is all from Adam Scheffler, so obviously 100%, accurate. Love that guy. But yeah, former Broncos reporter himself. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy to see what Pat Bolin did. Mr. B was a hell of a man, and not only a hell of a man, but was a hell of a organizer of a franchise, obviously, and knew what he was doing, certainly so.
Right. Yeah.
Hey,
but when it's all said and done. When it's all said and done, gosh, I still stack Floyd Little up against anybody, my friend.
Hey, that dude could run the football, my friend. Didn't he go to Syracuse, right?
Yeah, what now?
He went to. Did he go to? Where did he go? Syracuse. Where did he go to college?
I don't know that.
Yeah. First off, and I forgot to mention this, and I wish we will show this on next week's show because I'm sure. I may still have him next week. But my stitches, guess what color they are?
What's that? I imagine orange and blue.
I was hoping I'd get orange, but they only had blue, so I got me some blue stitches.
You are a true fan.
Hey, through and through. On next week's show, I'll have Doc back in action, won't I?
Oh yeah, I'll be back in town.
All right, around the horn and sports.
Hey, Josh, maybe. It depends on how this weekend goes. I might like it so much, I might just stay here.
Hey, if the Razorbacks stay, I all for it, and I may come up there and join you. We'll just do the show there.
There you go, man.
Hey, and then speaking of which, regardless, we'll be together again, one way or the other. Whether I come join you, or you're back here joining me, you're back in action with another What's Up, Doc?
Well, yeah, I can't wait. We took a little time off this week just because of travel, but I will have that episode rolling again next week.
Yes, sir, and then we'll have the Around the Horn and Sports Finals, the extra credits scene. Yes, it's the finale as we have the Final Four in the College World Series. We'll talk about that, and we'll see who's moving on to the knockout stage in the Women's World Cup. We'll have all that and much more. Don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, and to hear all the episodes, that's where you got to hit us up. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And, Doc, you've got the site looking so good at studanddud.com, so get out there and follow us at studanddud.
Thanks, my friend.
Hey, dude, it's looking beautiful. Thank you so much. Like I said, dude, I'm glad you got on the show today, and you got to join us from the College World Series. Enjoy the beautiful weather, Doc. Soak it up. Like I said, I'm super jelly. Like I said, I hope the Hogs win tomorrow night for you. The Omaha Hogs. Cheer it on for me. Come on, get up and call the Hogs. I'll give you a little mini session. Here's how it goes. Woo! Peg Soey! Woo! Peg Soey! Woo! Peg Soey! Razorbacks! Now get out there and call you some Hogs, Doc.
I will call some Hogs, man, and I'll send you some pictures back for our
and do some video, dude. If you could get a good, get to the Razorback side. If there's a few of them or a lot of them, and they start calling those Hogs, get out there. I don't care if it's 10 seconds worth of it. Give me a video clip of that. That'd be a great post too on Stud and Dud.
I will get it done, my friend.
Hey, thanks for joining. Thank you all for listening. And until next time, I'm Josh Smith.
I'm Bob Lawrence.
From the College World Series, you boss. Peace.